What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 17. And happy holidays to everybody. And I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving that celebrates it. I sure did. That's exactly why this review is super late. But we're going to get into it. If you fuck with me, you'll watch it. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. It's a simple and free way to support your girl. It takes literally less than 4 seconds to do. So if you spend 4 seconds watching the video, you could definitely hit the like button and the subscribe button. Because I don't only review Sistas, I review other shows as well. And I'm not a public speaker, so I will tend to fumble my words. You're going to hear, so, like. It is what it's going to be. I might stop to regain my thoughts. That's because I'm trying to make sure I know what I'm saying. And I'm definitely going to be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. Anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. And comment below what you would grade this episode, what you thought of the episode entirely, about what I talk about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, all that good stuff, comment below. And I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. And I'm going to grade this episode of Sistas. Sistas been kind of okay this season so far. This half season that started. I'm going to give it a B minus. That's me being generous. I'm going to give it a B minus. I might change my grade at the end. Like I said, like I do them before and after my review. So right now it's a B minus. As I talk about it, I might change it. But anyway, last chance if you haven't seen Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 17. Yeah. Turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Cool? I was about to grab my water, but I don't know if I didn't know if I wanted to spark or water. I just finished doing my review of Tyler Perry's The Oval, so if you watched that, go check that out as well. But anyway, we're gonna get into Tyler Perry's Sistas. So the first scene is starting off from where we left in the last episode, with Preston walking up to Danny talking to Tony. So Danny's like, "What are you doing here, Preston?" Tony introduces himself like, "Hey, Preston, I'm Tony." Tries to leave. Preston's like, "Nah, you stay. So Preston's like, "I came to put a surprise in your car, Danny." And Danny's like, "How'd you get my keys?" He's like, "It wouldn't be a surprise if I ain't tell you." Like, what? So Preston's like, "No, Tony, I want you to stay." And asks Tony, like, "How long you known Danny?" Tony's like, "Look, we just work friends. We just work together." I got burp, but it won't come out. Whatever. So Preston was like, "Were you guys together last night?" And Tony was like, No. Oh no, I don't even think Tony had a chance to answer. Yeah, so Danny tries to cut Preston off basically, like, we can't talk about this, but we'll talk later. I gotta go into work. So Preston's like, "I heard most of y'all conversation and I want to talk to you, Danny." And Danny's just like, "No, not here. Not at work. I gotta go to work." Preston's like, "You ain't never cared about being on time before." Preston and Tony get a little back and forth going. I can't remember everything that was said, basically. So then Tony, he walks away finally. After Preston tells him to walk away. I'm like, "How you gonna tell?" He was like, "You told me to stay." He's like, "Now I'm telling you to walk away." Tony was like, I'm just gonna go. So Preston like, "Danny, are we good?" And Danny's like, we good. I just need to go into work." So back at Andy's office, Sabrina and, well, I say Sabrina. Well, yeah, Maurice does say thank you to Andy. And then reads her ass for filth. I can't even remember everything he said about her. It was just like, damn. It was like a definite gay dude read. And I think Maurice is a straight man in real life. That's why I feel like his character is so over the top, because he thinks that's how gay men is. And they not even that extra like that. They not even as extra as Maurice be. That's why I feel like he do too much. So after Maurice reads Andy asked for filth, I'm talking about, that was the best read he ever did. So Andy's like, we celebrating tonight. We celebrating. So Sabrina's like, she asked Andy, like, has Jordan called you? And Andy's like, no. Has Rich called you? And Sabrina checks her phone. And she's like, oh, I did get a text from Rich. Andy sent a picture of us on the bus. Maurice was like, bus? Rosa Parks, bitch. They need to stop doing that. Because, like, bitch, I catch the bus. I don't care. But... So Sabrina, she sees Andy's doubt as she looks at the selfie that Rich sent her, and she's like, Jordan will call. He's going to call you. And he's like, maybe it was just too good to be true. We met 3 amazing men. We're 3 amazing women. Maurice is like, what? So she's like, I'm not going on the triple date no more. I'm not going on a date no more. Jordan hasn't called me. I'm not doing that. I don't blame Andy for that, though. If dude ain't call you back, he ain't call you. I mean, if he at least sent a good morning text or something, because they seeing each other the next day after the date. So it's just like, he could at least send a text or something. But the fact that he hadn't had no communication with her since the date, and then she just supposed to be coming to his house the next day, regardless if it's with her girls or not, I can understand where Andy was coming from. So Sabrina's like, oh, she's like, you need to go with us. Give Jordan a chance. And he's like, I'll go if Jordan calls. So we was like, we got to wait to see if Jordan calls. I was here for Jordan until the end, but I don't know. I got to wait. I'm going to wait till I get to the end and talk about that. So Zatima they sit down with the lawyer. Mind you, when I say Zatima, that means Zach and Fatima. It's quicker to say than Zach and Fatima. But when I'm saying Fatima, that's her. That's her. But Zatima, that's the both of them. So Zatima, they sit down with the lawyer. He telling them he gonna work on getting them an emergency hearing this morning. He just need to talk to a judge first and tell him that the child is in danger. But he said the problem is that they don't have any no endangerment welfare reports or anything on Michael. So Fatima's like, but we have a witness, that neighbor. So he's like, okay, as long as she's willing to talk, then he can work on it. He tells them to be patient, don't do nothing reckless. And Zach like, how you gonna tell me that's my son? I mean, like I always said, Duvall, I don't know if his name DeVale or Duvall, but DeVale Ellis is one of the best actors on this show. So when he's doing his thing, you can feel it. He's like, man, how you gonna tell me I can't, bro, I need to get my son. So it's like, we feel it. Plus that man got like, he got like 4 sons, I think. 5, maybe. So Fatima's like, thank you to the lawyer. I owe you one. They get outside the office. Zach like, what you owe the lawyer? He was like, I saw the way he was looking at you, and Fatima was like, no, he was looking at my earrings. He was like, he liked you more. He was like you more than he liked me. Like basically letting us know that he's gay. So then this nigga Hayden approaches them. So Fatima tries to get Zach to leave, and she tries to walk off herself, and Hayden's like, no, both of you stay. So before he says what he says next, I'm in my head like, what this nigga about to say to them? Yeah, so he like, you stay. So he like, I want y'all to meet my, what he say? Yeah, I want y'all to meet my new lady. And then he says to Fatima, you know her already. And I was like, how you know that? Or it might have been a scene. Was it a scene in Sistas where Fatima and Tamira were talking briefly or something? Because I'm assuming with the Tyler Perry show, they talk briefly for a second, then they know each other. But have Tamira and Fatima talked in front of Hayden before? Because how did he know that she knew Fatima? Unless Tamira told her. But how, in what form did she tell him? Because I know she ain't telling him that Fatima hired me to work your ass, and it's working. So he calls Tamira over. Tamira comes over. They both introduce Tamira, Hayden and Tamira herself. They introduce herself as his wife. Zach gives a fake ass Shit, it might be genuine because he like finally this nigga's off of me. But he's like, congratulations, let me see the ring. You know how Zach is. He's like, let me see the ring. The team was like, Samir was like, so it's the team where they looking at the ring or whatever. Zach's like, how long you guys known each other? I was like, what is Zach doing? I ain't want them to get too deep into depth in conversation where it end up slipping out, something slip out that catches Hayden's ear or be like, make him think like, But this nigga Hayden seemed dumb. I don't know. So he's like, how long you two known each other? And Hayden cuts Tamira off before she could say 2 weeks. It got to be 2 weeks. I don't care what nobody says. She wasn't about to say no 2 months. Because if it was 2 months, Karen would be showing right now. Ain't no way. It's 2 weeks, and I'm standing on that. 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. Tamira was about to say 2 weeks before Hayden cut her off. Had to be. Because if it was 2 months, we would have seen a belly on Karen by now. As skinny as she is. Nah, I don't care. They've been knowing each other for 2 weeks, and he married that bitch. I don't care. Couldn't have been 2 months. And even if it was 2 months, it's been over 2 months now, and Karen should be showing, so I don't care. So Hayden cuts Tamira off before she can get out 2 weeks. He's like, don't worry about all that. And I'm like, how you gonna try to cut them off when you were just trying to brag about the bitch? You tried to brag about her and then you get defensive when they asking questions. Like, nah, Hayden, you wanted this. So Zach's like, I'm truly happy for you. Like, now you can stay the fuck about our business. So Hayden was like, oh yeah, that's done. And it's just like, so now we all know. I mean, we knew, but this nigga knew that he was being irritated in their relationship and he didn't care. I mean, we knew Hayden was an asshole, but it's just like the fact that he just verified and knew that he was doing this because he was lonely. Like, I wasn't even surprised when he was like, oh yeah, I'm done with that. So Tamira was like, what's Zach talking about? What's he talking about? So Zach starts like explaining how basically irritating Hayden was meddling in their relationship, all that stuff. So Hayden's like, Zach's a criminal. You can't believe anything he says. And Zach's like, congrats again, and get nice shape up, buddy. Hayden's like, I look fly. I don't know what you're talking about. I look fly. I look good. So Hayden and Tamira walk away, and Zach says to Fatim, don't you feel bad about that? Don't you feel bad about that? That man is happy. He's like, shoot, I don't care. He out of my life now. I know that's right. I be feeling just like Zach. Fatima played that real well. I don't even know why she was feeling bad. Oh, so Sabrina, she calls Danny, tells her the news about the DA dropping all the charges against her and Maurice. Talks about possibly getting her job back. Danny's like, I'm sorry, I'm happy for you. Sabrina can tell that in her voice that she don't seem like herself, or she don't sound happy. Well, she's happy about the fact, that she's happy that it's over, but she just sounds sad because of her situation. So she tells Sabrina about the Tony and Preston situation that happened earlier. So Sabrina's like, just talk to Preston, Danny. So they end the call. Then Tony walks over. He's like, how things go with Preston? Asking Danny that. Said, I didn't think you were the type. Basically, the white man. And I was like, okay, how you coming up saying you didn't know that Preston was white, but you claim to know everything about her from the conversations you hear on the phone with her? You knew Preston's name, but you didn't know he was white? If you could hear all her phone conversations, how you didn't know he was white? Tony. So then he's like, I apologize if I offended you, and I just feel like you seem like the type that would just want to date a black man. So Danny's like, I'm not offended. I thought Preston was different. And I was like, was. Looking like she ain't feeling him no more. She said was. Like he in the past tense. So Tony's like, are you happy? Are you happy, basically? Danny basically beats around the bush. I don't even remember what she said. Tony's like, we still on for dinner. And Danny's like, maybe, but Jordan hasn't called Andy, so she's not going. And Tony's like, oh, no, I'll fix this. He immediately calls Jordan. So Fatima goes to Andy's office to tell her she's leaving for the day. They have a little chat. She tells her about the emergency hearing that the lawyer's trying to get for baby Michael. She said something about she don't think Michael's going to make it. I was like, what she see that we didn't see? Andy's like, it'll be fine, Fatima. Then Jordan finally calls Andy. She ignores it. He calls again. Fatima's like, who is that? Andy's like, the guy I went on a date with. And Fatima grabs the phone, answers Andy Barnes' office. You know how fit Fatima be. Like, let me put her on the phone for you. So they leave the phone on speaker so Fatima could listen in. So Jordan's like, you ready? You getting ready for tonight? And he's like, well, I hadn't heard from you, so I made other plans. I was like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm feeling this, Andy. I'm feeling that. Nah, me personally, I would have just been like, oh, I almost wasn't about to come because I hadn't heard from you. You know? I don't know. If I was in Andy's situation, maybe. But everyday life, fuck no. Fuck that nigga. I ain't heard from him. Fuck that nigga. But Jordan's like, oh, yeah, Rich and Tony been telling me to call you all day, but I was really into you last night. I didn't want to assume you were into me and feel disappointed if it wasn't the case. And starts going on, giving Andy lots of praise, calling her beautiful and strong-minded, all that stuff. And he was like, I'm so sorry that you can't make it tonight. So then Fatima in the background, oh, Andy, your appointment for tonight got canceled. So Jordan hears that, of course, because she's sitting right across from Andy, and they got the phone on speakerphone. And Jordan's like, oh, so you are free now. And Andy's like, it appears so. So Jordan's like, okay, I'll see you tonight. They end the call. Fatima's like, you need to not be playing games with that man. Andy's like, it ain't nothing wrong with a little chase. So Andy starts asking Fatima, like, are you really okay with all this situation, all these situationships with Zach, the Heather and her baby, Karen and the other baby? And if you watch Fatima, spoiler alert, Fatima's pregnant also. So he about to have 3 babies. So Fatima's like, that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. I will walk through hell with him. We done been through hell and back. I'm like, what y'all really been through? Besides the therapy with his mother and brother and his mother dying. I mean, I guess. So Bio comes over to Sabrina's. I don't know if she called him to come over or if he asked to come over and she was like, sure. That's probably how it went. So Sabrina's like, did you get your money back? To Bio. And I was waiting for this moment. I was like, yes. Get this bitch ass nigga out of here. Trying to use his money against her. If you knew you was going to throw it back in her face, you should have never let her see the shit. You should have just let Maurice suffer in jail. So did you get your money back? He's looking confused or whatever. And she's like, well, we got cleared of all charges. So Bio's like, that's great. We should go celebrate. Sabrina's like, oh, I don't think so. She's like, I appreciate all you did for me, but I don't like the way you treated Maurice. And I was like, yes. That's what I'm talking about. So Bio get the, after all I did to help you, you trifling bitch. I was like, you use me, you think you can take advantage of me because I have money. Sabrina's like, that's not the case. If you feel that way, I'm so sorry, whatever. But you need to leave now. Opens the door. Bio start going off and says bitch or something. And Danny walks up like, bitch, who you call a bitch? Starts somewhat cussing Bio out as he leaves out the door. Bio speaking in African, I think. Well, I think Danny was mocking him in African. Not cool, Danny. Just saying. So Bio leaves. Danny's like, what just happened? Sabrina tells her what happened. Like, he basically just went off on me. So Danny still has her work uniform on. She's like, I need to borrow something from over here because I don't want to go home and talk to Preston. Sabrina's like, you're going to have to talk to him at some point. Danny's like, well, not now. Let me get something out of your closet that ain't ugly. You know they always coming for Sabrina's fashion. Sabrina's like, I've done better lately. So Karen, nut ass, pops up at Zatima's house. Gets to the door, then decides to walk away, and somehow Zach comes outside. He's like, Karen. He's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I want to drop off more stuff for little Michael. And I'm just like, first of all, where'd you get all this toddler stuff from that you keep dropping off and stuff? And second of all, you need to be focused on buying stuff for your own child. Like, what's going on here? But you know, she's still obsessed with Zach. It ain't even obsessed. It's just like she's still geeking for this nigga. I don't know if y'all just else to say. So Zach's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. Karen's like, I wanted to after how I acted at the store, and asked how Michael doing. And Zach tells her that and that Jay just split. Fuck it. Zach tells her that Heather came back to take Michael away. And Karen's like, dang, she that bad? And Zach's like, yeah, we waiting on a court date. And Zach's like, she's the absolute worst. Karen's like, I'm so sorry. And Michael's so cute. He looked just like his daddy. I was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, when's the court date? And I was like, why? So you could show up there, stalker? So Zach tells her, like, we don't have a court date set yet. We're trying to get an emergency hearing. And Karen's like, oh, keep me posted. And I'm like, why? It's not your child. So Zach's like, I will. And I'm like, will you? Don't. Why? Don't, Zach. What are you talking about? So Zach's like, well, why are you doing all this, Karen? Why are you doing all this? So Karen's like, well, was seeing you with that child, with your child, it did something to me. And even though you was with Heather when we was together, and Zach was like, we was broken up. We was on and off all the time. We was broken up when I slept with Heather. Karen's like, it don't matter now. I'm just tired of stressing. I'm just going to let go and let God. And Zach was like, oh, that's the preacher got up in you. Karen was like, that's over. She wanted to let that be known. That's over. So if Zach, you want to come back, it's over with me and the preacher man. Zach's like, you sure? She's like, yep, I'm just going to focus on me and my baby. Zach's like, well, that's good for you. So Karen's like, we'll work on some type of visitation and all that. Zach's like, okay, cool. Karen leaves. Zach's like, be safe. So they becoming amicable at this point. I'm okay with that. Karen just going to have to let go again. Because she was letting, like I said in my previous review, she was letting go before her death scare with everybody. Everybody thought she was dead. And then Zach came running and busting in the damn salon. Hugging all on her, you know. She was let go before that. But then when she came back in there, she was like, he still love me. So she just got to get to that point again. Karen just got to get to that point again when she let go. So Andy, she gets to Sabrina's place where Danny and Sabrina are, and she says she's talking some slick shit about Danny's shoes, which are actually Sabrina's shoes, because you know Danny's wearing Sabrina's stuff. Sabrina comes out like, what's wrong with the shoes? They was like, what's the game plan? If we're feeling uncomfortable, what's the safe word? So Fatima gets home. Zach's making her a meal. She's like, oh, did Karen cook that? Like, I just saw her leave. And Zach was like, oh, you thought I wasn't going to tell you she was here. So he was like, Karen just seemed to develop the soft spot after seeing Michael. And Fatima's like, yeah, I'm sure her emotions are all over the place since she's pregnant. And they talk about the emergency hearing. Like, hopefully we can get this emergency hearing. Then Fatima was like, how about we just go get Michael? And Zach was like, well, what about all the things the lawyer just said earlier? He's like, you can't just do this. You can't just play good cop, bad cop when you want to do that. But he laughing while he said it because he be here for the shit. They be here for each other's bullshit. That's what make them good for each other. Their characters good for each other, whatever. What do you say? So Fatima was like, I don't care about this point, at this point. Cause that's like, what if the judge, what happens when the judge says that we kidnapped him? So Fatima's like, oh, I didn't think that far ahead. Like, what? Zach was like, we should just wait for now. But they both was like, oh yeah, if we don't get no court hearing or emergency hearing or whatever by the weekend, we sliding back over there and getting Michael. We getting little Michael up out of there. So we gonna see what's gonna happen with that. Then we get this final scene. The ladies, they arrive to Jordan's house. They head to the back patio for drinks and stuff. And all of a sudden, Gary's there, and Jordan's trying to introduce him to Andy. And it looked like this nigga Gary was behind a bar. Was he bartending for them? It was weird. Like, what was going on? Like I said, yeah, B-. It wasn't too bad. Because I was just like, because as I was watching the show, I was like, okay, it's like the last couple of, like, last minute. What's about to happen that's about to be like, oh, before it go off? And I was like, oh, okay, this nigga Gary. But yeah, I'll still say B-. It was okay. It wasn't bad. Predictions for episode to come. When we see that Gary tries to pretend like he don't know Andy and try and get up out of there, Andy's like, what? And Danny, all of them are like, well, how do you guys know Gary? And Gary's like, it's a long story. I'm just like, how all these niggas seem to know Gary? Oh, that's what it is. I think those dudes that they all dating, I think they all play basketball together. With Zach and them? Remember when they was all playing basketball together? And Hayden was playing with them and stuff. And Zach stopped coming because Hayden was there. I think them three dudes play basketball with them. So I think Gary knew them anyway. I could be wrong. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to the guys they play ball with. But damn, that just made me think my eyes got big as hell. I was like, oh snap, okay. That might be it. I don't know. Danny and Preston, they might be done. I don't know. I'm glad that Bio ass is gone. Like, I wasn't feeling his nut ass anyway. Want to fake or make up a story that she got to marry you for compensation or whatever. I was just like, bye. Is there anything else? We ain't get no Calvin this episode. I wonder if we done with Calvin. Are we done with Calvin? Calvin not a bad guy, but I can understand what Sabrina don't, what she likes sexually, what she don't like. So I can understand where she's coming from. Damn. There's a lot going on now. I wonder what's about to happen with this. Like, Andy probably ain't gonna want to date Jordan no more. Like, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good to be true. What's the story now that there ain't no case being thrown around, no African prince? It's kind of just them dating and just slowly moving along. I'm kind of here for it. My grades have been higher since they started doing this whole, because it's giving more girlfriends now lately since the mid-season premiere. So yeah, that's why I say B-. It's not a bad grade. Passing. Anyway, those are my little thoughts or whatever, expressions, whatever you want to call it, thoughts and things about episodes to come, about this episode, all that stuff. Comment below what you would grade the episode, what you thought of the episode, about what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, all that good stuff. Comment below. And like this video and subscribe to my channel, because like I said, I don't only review Sistas, I review other shows like Tyler Perry's The Oval, which I finished doing right before this one. So go check that one out as well if you watched that show. And I will see y'all in the next review. Peace.